Greetings. We are the Arcturians, and we understand that you, Suzanne, and Shauna would like to speak with us about your adventures in the future. Shauna, would you like to ask us any questions?
Yes, well, thank you for your constant guidance. Is there anything that you feel is pertinent to convey or share with our leadership team and the broader audience at this time?
Within this now, we perceive that humanity is in a shift. There are things, especially in the United States, there's a lot of changes that are and will be occurring. And some of the other countries.
If we are interested in understanding the current energies and chaotic shifts that are occurring, maybe you could share your higher perspective on that?
Yes, would you give us your operational definition of chaotic shifts? How do you perceive that? For we perceive it on a planetary level. And we do not perceive chaos in the same manner that humans do. So if you could give us your human perspective, then we can speak more directly to your question.
From our perspective, I suppose we sense it as what we call the chaos that precedes change, and it manifests in many ways. We see the political system, our natural resources, the importance of spiritual protection at this time, and just having an awareness of our surroundings and all of the influences that are quite active at this time.
Yes, and there are some very positive influences that are active at this time as well. The Palladians have doubled their troops, and they are in the process of a major landing. However, people will not know of this landing unless they are able to activate their higher fourth, fifth dimensional consciousness. From their higher fourth, fifth dimensional consciousness, they will have a sense that something is changing, that the militia is here to assist, that there is help that perhaps has not been recognized in the past. And the Palladians, the Arcturians, the Antarians, and the Venusians are particularly keeping an eye on Gaia. And they're keeping an eye on Gaia because they want to make sure that things remain peaceful. And what we want all of humanity to know is that the transition from the third into the fourth and into the fifth dimension is meant to be peaceful and kind and loving. However, there are those of lower states of consciousness that are currently wearing a third dimensional vessel that do not want the shift because they will not hold the degree of power once the shift has occurred. Now, those who have no interest in power over, and those who only want to focus on their own inner power, are very pleased, are very open, are very anxious and ready to receive these higher frequencies of light. However, there are also those who want to have power over. And a lot of this conflict has been occurring in the United States, as it will, because the United States was meant to be one of the first flashpoints of ascension. And so there are those that are afraid to move forward because they don't want to lose the power that they have gained within their current system. And the reality is there are many, many more that are not interested in power over, that they are open to communing with and interacting with the higher dimensional beings so that they can assist. They can assist others, they can assist the planet, and they can assist the myriad different systems that will be going through major changes. Just the technology alone will be amplifying 2, 4, 8, 12, 10% over what it was before. And this will free humanity up, but it will frighten the ones who have power over, because power over is within that lower fourth dimension of reality. And as humanity continues to expand their consciousness into the fourth dimension and beyond that lowest octave of the fifth dimension and the fourth dimension, first and fifth dimension, those that want to have power over will become extinct because no one will look to them. They will instead look inside themselves to their own higher guidance. So Shauna, would you like to perhaps summarize that a bit and then ask us another question?
Yes, we covered quite a bit there. So I suppose that as we see this polarity of those of power within and power over, and we compare the desires of each, we will see just that continual bifurcation of the reality. And whichever reality we resonate to is what we will experience. So I suppose it's important for us to maintain our focus upon the power within so we can align to that frequency of fourth, fifth, and higher dimensional existence connected to our higher guidance. And as we embody that, more and more of us will just create that reality together.
Yes, it will create that reality, and that reality will grow. And the ones that want to have power over, they're much like children that are bullies. And bullies can only bully people that are afraid. They can't bully people that feel strong within themselves. And so the task of those who have found their power within is, of course, to assist others to also find their power within, and to refuse to participate in any type of a situation in which any person, place, situation, or thing wants to have power over them. Because once they step into that, then it becomes a contest. And then the third dimensional thinking takes place, and you want to win the contest. And so the way to avoid having conflicts and contests with those who have come to Gaia specifically to maintain that third, fourth frequency, because they know that once Gaia begins to move into her fifth dimensional frequency, they will not be able to control it at all. So those who love Gaia who trust Gaia, who protect Gaia, and who know that the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Antareans, the Tausetians, and the Andromedans, as well as the Venusians, are all ready and able to assist dear Gaia. That Gaia is not alone in that there are many of her human inhabitants, and of course all of her animal and her plant kingdom, all protect her, all work to protect her, all work as one to protect her. And all the humans that work to protect her, because she is pregnant. Gaia is pregnant with her fifth-dimensional self. And the term of her pregnancy will depend largely on how humanity chooses to create the environment that surrounds her. And as humanity thinks in terms of Gaia as their planetary mother, and as humanity moves out of personal thinking and even beyond group thinking and moves into planetary thinking, they will be able to perceive that the planet is a living being. And Gaia is the member of a family of other planets that are living beings. And that specific planets, such as those from the Pleiades and Arcturus and Andromeda and Antares, they are all quite close in space, which is not close in terms of your 3D spaces, but close in terms of interdimensional and multidimensional spaces. That as those energies blend together, that will greatly increase the energy field of personal and planetary ascension, and not just for Earth, for all of the realities that we have mentioned. All of these realities are in different stages of their ascension process, and they are all helping each other and creating almost what you would call a ladder. Because at the bottom of the ladder is dear Gaia, who has taken on the polarities of good and bad, and has allowed the lost ones who have traveled from different place to different place, because as that place evolves, the lost ones, they get kicked off. And they have dug deep into Earth because they don't want to get kicked off again. But what they don't realize is that they're not kicked off, they just can't catch up. So we have no intention of kicking off anyone. Our intention is to assist every single being on Gaia to expand into unconditional love for all, and to dedicate themselves to assist others, to assist the planet, and to assist the process of ascension of this entire quadrant of space. Shauna, did you wish to say something else? I have a chance to incorporate what we have said. Perhaps you can ask a few questions that you think others might want to ask.
Sure, and we appreciate that reminder that it's not just our planet, but this family of planets that are impacted, by our reality and our transformation and transmutation. And I think that it's probably, is it accurate to say that every single person that is on this path of unconditional love and power within, that each of us is in a way birthing our fifth dimensional self, higher dimensional self.
Absolutely. But, however, one cannot move into that activity with the intention, with the somewhat selfish intention of birthing their own fifth dimensional self. Because if they have the intention, I'm doing this so that I can be fifth dimensional, then they won't have the energy field in order to be fifth dimensional. If you look at all of the ascended masters are basically beings who are able to become fifth dimensional and ascend beyond the planet. All of those beings focused 100% on service to others, no matter what that meant to their own selves. They focused on service to others. And in your case, humanity's case, the service to others includes the service to Gaia, as well as Gaia's moon, and as well as Gaia's sister Venus, because Sister Venus and Gaia are a team, and they will work as one. So as Gaia ascends, so will Venus ascend. And as Venus ascends, so will Earth ascend.
Well, it's interesting how all of the information that you've shared, it, of course, it's all this harmonious theme that, as we choose to resonate and choose to align to that service to others, then we radiate that unconditional love. And so we embody that presence that we desire others to adopt as they become aware and connected to their multidimensional selves. And that just naturally expands into what you mentioned, the planetary thinking. And in that way, we don't necessarily rise above the chaos, but we're able to serve as role models for those who lack that feeling of self-worth and unconditional love within themselves to make that shift to power within.
Yes, absolutely. It is your role of a role model that is of primary importance, for it takes quite a lot of humans to work as one being to allow Gaia to move into her transitional process. Gaia, your Mother Earth, is a very loving mother. And transitional processes, the birth of, just look at humans. When humans give birth, it is painful. However, there are species of animals that are deeply aligned with the earth, and they don't have pain when they give birth. So why is it that the lesser evolved beings do not have pain over something as vital as birth, when humans who are supposedly more evolved have great pain when they give birth? And this has not always been the case. There have been societies in which women just were taken away from the herd, the tribe, the others, and with their husband or whoever was protecting them. And they would just lay down their blanket, go behind a tree, and give birth to their baby, and wrap up the baby and go back home. And so it has become a belief system that rebirth includes pain. And rebirth does not need to include pain.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. I suppose that in a way that is a metaphor for that the paradigm shift that is required, the letting go of the old and embracing the new, and just imagining the possibilities. It's not always easy when we're tied into a system such as we find ourselves, and all of the indoctrination of our society. It is, in a way, difficult. It's a challenge.
Yes. And we like the analogy of being tied into. And so we invite anyone who might listen to this message to visualize yourself as seeing yourself, or what are you tied into? Are you tied into a job that doesn't work for you? Are you tied into parenting, which has lost its joy? Are you tied into a negative marriage? Are you tied into a living situation that you don't wish to explore? So now take this moment and feel yourself as being tied into something. Now, how are you tied into this? Now we recommend that you see this invisible rope that ties you to that which you wish to experience freedom from. And as you feel that which you wish to release, that you have been tied into. And so begin with just one thing within this now. We ask you all to take a long moment. And what would you like to release within your reality? Now, first we would like to ask you to release something within your personal reality, because you do deserve this. If you are here, if you are listening, if you have come this far within this conversation and you are still listening, then you are amongst those who are here to serve Gaia and to communicate with your higher dimensional self, who could be Arcturian, Venusian, Antarian, any other beings that you might be. And now feel how you are tied into your higher being. And now that changes that whole concept of being tied into, because it is a good tying. It is a good connection. It is a loving and kind connection. Now feel how that loving and kind, good feeling connection is. And now take it and send it from your higher self, who is listening to us, into your physical self. And assist your physical self to unbind any part of your life. And say to your physical self, you needn't be bound to this, because if it is yours, then you will do it from love. And if you feel like you must do it, then please don't do it, because the energy you put into doing whatever you do is actually much more important than what you do. So if you have a job that you dislike, stop that job. Find a job that you like, because then you will spread like, enjoyment, fulfillment, security. You will spread that. Whereas if you have a job that you dislike, then you will spread, oh, I have to, and I must, and I can't, and how do I get out of it? It's not enough for me. That's not what you wish to share. But whether or not you realize it, you share who you really are. You share what you are really feeling and what you are really thinking. And therefore, to be a conscious sharer, you must take some time within your daily life, and we mean daily life. Take some time within your daily life and go inside and feel yourself. Feel that which you love and send it more love. And feel that which is challenging and send it love and endurance and courage. And feel that which is hurtful, harm, distracting, unhappy, and blaze, blaze, blaze a violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, light, light. And as you see that component of your reality blazing in violet fire, send it unconditional love. And that unconditional love automatically sends it up into that next octave of reality. And that lower frequency of reality that once was the rope has now disappeared. Is no longer visible. It's no longer audible. It is no longer a component of your reality. Now we ask each of you to take a moment. And if there's one thing that you would like to expand, encourage, raise the frequency of, indulge in, live via, feel the unconditional love that you have. And love that. If it's a mate, feel yourself loving your mate. If it's a child or a family member, feel yourself loving that child, loving that family. If it's a job or something that you're learning, or a place that you're living, or something non-physical, love it completely. Surround it with your love. And in all of those cases, say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. And unconditional love and violet fire will transmute that which you do not wish to experience into that which you wish to experience. Shauna, did you wish to say anything?
That really reminds me of that very important tidbit of information that you like to share, and it's where your energy lies, there you are also. So where we focus our intentions and our energy, that is determines what manifests around us.
Yes. Where your attention is, there you are also. Yes.
And if anybody is listening and they're not certain and they'd like to, explore further what they're tied into, or, what they desire to release and what they prefer to be tied into with their higher self, they could definitely make that connection daily and even journal about it. Write those questions down and ask your higher self to guide you in exploring those questions.
Yes, and one way to build a strong commitment and intimate relationship with your own higher self is that you create a cast in steel time and place. And you want to have the place be a place that you can have privacy and that you feel good in, and you can burn incense and candles and music and prepare that space. And find a time whether it be once a month or the same time every day. But be realistic, because if you're unrealistic, you'll disappoint yourself, and that's the opposite of what we want. We want you to take a moment and make a realistic assessment. How often can you put aside how much time in which you can focus on your own personal self, your own higher self, your own destiny, and your own higher mission, the reason for your incarnation? And we strongly advise that you write that down or speak it into a recorder or type it out, because when you receive information from the higher frequencies, it will not stay in your physical brain very long. And Suzanne has learned that as soon as she hears an incoming, she can't get to the computer, then she gets a piece of paper and a pencil and writes it down right then, because it is that now. And part of that lesson is there are many nows, but each now has its own portal. And each time that we have a portal open in front of us, we have a decision to make. Will we step through that portal? And if we ponder, the answer is no. And if we don't ponder, if we just yes and step right in, then that is our answer. And if you have to ponder, then that is very good. Why do you think you want to do that when you actually don't want to do that? Or maybe you want to do that, but you don't think you can do that. Why? Write down why you can't do what you want to do. And if you are allowing some other person, place, situation, or thing to say, no, you can't do that, then you have given your power away. And we advise that you breathe that power of your own higher dimensional self into your heart chakra and allow it to go up into your third eye and all the way down through your body and ground it in Gaia. And say to yourself, I am ready now. I am ready now. And you can even say that not knowing what you're ready for. But if you say it with love, and if you say it in a higher frequency of consciousness, you will attract that which is right there, just beyond the edge of your consciousness that you were ready for. But remember, your consciousness, your state of mind, how you ask is vital. So if you're in a difficult spot and you feel that you can't be positive and you can't really love yourself, then what you want to do is call a friend, go to therapy, go to a meeting, take a walk in the woods, pet your dog, hug your child. Get your consciousness up into a high enough frequency that you can love yourself. That is the springboard to being of greater service to Gaia. Because how can you love Gaia, who is made of the very same earth, air, fire, water, and ether as the physical body you are wearing? How can you love Gaia if you can't love yourself? And how can you love yourself if you don't love Gaia? Did you wish to say something to that, Sean? That's a rather long.
But very important. And I think it's, we need to honor and love ourselves. That is such an important component, because this is it's a process. It's a process of transmutation. It's a shift. It's initiations. It's challenges. So it's not always a simple process, but quite complex. But if you take just simple steps daily and just continue to refine your path and align to your higher mission and continue to clarify that, there's no hurry. It will unfold in a perfect way when you trust and make sure, you focus on that power within.
Yes. And remember, the time is an illusion of the third dimension. Mm-hmm. Like you could have a dream that, let's say you're looking at the clock and it's 1 o'clock and you fall asleep. You have this long, long ornate dream. You could wake up and see that it's 1:10. Whereas the dream appeared to take hours and hours and hours. But in reality, it went beyond time. So when you search for your answers, when you search for your higher self, you are literally leaving time. Because time on Earth is time on Earth. Time on Venus is time on Venus. Time on Mars is time on Mars. They're different sizes. They have different orbits. It takes a different amount of time to go around the sun. And they may not even gauge their time by how long it takes to go around the sun. So, therefore, within that now, that is always alive within you, once you remember to look inside and feel that now, and have that now be that place that reminds you that you are the master of your reality. You are the master of the Gaia, the earth, the air, the fire, the water, all that is around you. And remember that you are currently wearing an earth vessel, but your great multidimensional self is not limited to being an earthling. You are Venusians, you are Arcturians, Antareans, Andromedans, Palladians, on and on. And this is why Gaia is such an important planet, because it has been the focus of an interspecies, interdimensional, interplanetary, intergalactic experiment of, can all of these different illusions of time and space merge into the oneness of here and now? So, Shauna, is there any summing up that you would like to do now?
Yes, well, of course, as always, we appreciate the guidance that you share that is helpful for us as we continue on our transformational pathway. We have much to reflect upon, and I think we have some excellent tools in which to co-create our highest possible reality.
Yes. And thinking always and never forgetting that you are an interdimensional, multidimensional being of multidimensional light and unconditional love. And your primary job initially is to remember who you really are. And each time you remember, share it. And that will assist you to remember more, which you will then share more. And go into the process of remembering and sharing, remembering and sharing. And then you became and become and will become a wonderful emissary of light, love, and truth. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate that you have taken the moments of your now to listen to that which we wish to share with you. We are the Arcturians, and we have sent our message through Susan Carroll. Blessings. Shauna, would you like to say goodbye to the group as well?
Oh, yes. Why, thank you again for your attention to these important topics. And the fun part is exploring all of our individual puzzle pieces and putting them together to see what kind of story that we create together. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As each of us have honed our puzzle piece, then we will move into other puzzle pieces and create this beautiful picture of fifth-dimensional Gaia. Blessings to you all, and thank you for taking this now to listen to our message.